What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we are checking out a game that actually, I can't take credit for finding this one. I have to give it up. My buddy Blitz, who I've been friends with for a very, very long time on YouTube, ended up finding this game on itch.io. I watched his video and I was like, yo, that actually looks like a really, really, really good game. And so today, I am taking about 30 minutes to vouch for this title. It's a little game called Dwarf Eats Mountain. This is an incremental number go up game about a pack of dwarves that just absolutely hate a mountain. And while the game mostly plays itself, I found a lot of accompaniment and a lot of little interesting details inside of this game that make it into something special. The goal of the game is incredibly simple. You're trying to mine a never-ending mountain that keeps extending out of the ground. So as you knock out walls, it continues to grow and get nastier and nastier and nastier. It's going to throw more and more hazards at your dwarves. You can see one of them flying through the air right there because he just caught an asteroid to the face. And you're trying to go as far as you possibly can while mining out this mountain to get prestiges, just like you would in a game like Cookie Clicker, although I will say this game doesn't really have any clicker implements to it. This is largely just a game that does its own thing, but there are some little mini games built into it that allow you to take control and sort of decide what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. There's relics like you would get in The Binding of Isaac, and ultimately the game ends up being a really fantastic spectacle. So today we're going to be taking a look at the game for about 30 minutes. We're going to be having a good time with it. If after watching this you wanted to try out the game for yourself, I will have an itch.io link where you can check out this exact same demo just in case you wanted to give it a play. On top of that, they do have plans for a Steam release. That link will also be down there, but for now, what you're seeing at the moment is about an hour and a half on into the game. Instead, what I'm going to do is we're going to prestige and we're going to go from the beginning with all of our new bonuses. You're going to watch me build up my new dwarf fortress, and hopefully we can set this big old bastard of a mountain down, because frankly, its existence offends us. No matter how many times we hit it with flamethrowers, ballistas, giant cannons, death rays, it just keeps coming. And the never-ending dwarvish constitution simply cannot abide it, sir. So let's go ahead, we'll prestige, we'll start off a new fortress, and we'll have a good time with it. So the beginning of the game is pretty simple stuff. We have some basic buildings that the game has given us. We've got Kazad Greathold. This is going to be our headquarters. This is the location through which we build up all the other buildings that we're going to be able to build. Now, keep in mind this game is not done. I get the feeling that when it goes to Steam, I didn't have a chance to look at the Steam page. I don't know if this is going into early access when it goes to Steam, but for right now, there is quite a bit of content inside of here. And so the first thing we really need to do is we need to start getting some miners, and we need to start giving this mountain a shiner so that it can learn a lesson about existing near us, the dwarves, the superior fantasy race. So we're going to need some miners up first, and I think it gives you a whole bunch for free. So there's 3 miners right there that we've already started out with, and as you can see, they're going to start chucking picks at the mountain. Unfortunately, they're not always going to be crazy accurate about it. Then these little guys down here that are smoking a spliff, every time we knock gold or something else out of the side of the mountain, every single time you deal damage, there's a chance that you're going to get resources. They will run out, grab that stuff, and bring it back. However, there are a number of different hazards that are trying to take out your runners and get rid of your efficiency, and so we'll start working on that a little bit later too. For now, I think we want underground housing just to get some free dwarves. There it is. We've got ourselves 12 dwarves ready to rock that we can add to our society. Let's add a few more miners just to get some damage outgoing. And we probably want to play around with some upgrades. Now, this building right here, it's the Great Maw. I don't know what religious fanaticism has grabbed dwarvish culture, but something in it has convinced us that we need to feed gold to this giant stone statue. And in return, it will give us fortune and make sure that we are safe and that all of our little baby dwarflets grow up to be super awesome. But for the moment, it's going to be very slow going for us here. So I'm just going to chill for a second and wait till resources start coming in. Now, if we want to get more sophisticated buildings, we've actually got to hit the criteria that the game says we need. So we need 7 miners and 4 runners if we want to make that work. As far as I can tell, we have 5 runners already. That means we only really need 1 more miner, and it should unlock a bunch of new buildings for us. We can get the Grand Laboratory. This is a place where all of our dwarves are going to be doing research. Well, we'll have like space dwarves, all right? We have like little scientist dwarves, and they're going to be in little hazmat suits, and we need a certain amount of scientists in order to unlock new buildings. On top of that, this thing can mount a pretty badass laser cannon on it that's going to start chewing away at the mountain and giving us more options for ore extraction, because as you may have noticed, it's very, very slow going in this early phase of the game. And the more damage we can put out there, the better it's going to go. So let's get our first scientist, and then we're going to need 1 mithril, 2 dwarves, and 185 bucks, and we'll be able to make our first laser cannon, which is way better than just throwing our mining implements at the mountain itself. Oh, and we've got our first enemy spawn over here. So as you damage the mountain, you can see its health up in the top right-hand corner. Things are going to start fighting back that live inside of that mountain. There are drums in the deep. On top of that, you've also got the calamity bar over here. Hilarious and explosive things are going to happen whenever the calamity bar fills. I don't know exactly why it happens like that, but either way, the mountain likes to retaliate. And so as you can see, this goblin lair is actually chucking, I don't know if they're dead or alive. I can't honestly tell you, but they're chucking their compatriots at us to try to stop us from destroying the mountain. If any of our runners get hit by this stuff, they will get launched into the air, they'll make humorous noises, and then they drop everything that they were carrying and they get stunned for like 5 to 10 seconds. There are upgrades that you can get that will fix that up and make it much less detrimental, but we don't have access to those right now. Now, realistically, we do have some upgrades that we can play around with right now. We've got fairly limited funds, so we want to be kind of careful about what we pick. We want to get the maximum DPS out of it, and oh, those guys just got wiped out. Unfortunate. On the plus side, my runners are a little bit ahead of schedule right now. Like, the miners are having trouble keeping up with them and getting enough gold out of the mountain to actually make there be something to pick up all the time. So, I think I'll probably go with let's go with the Flameworks first. That feels like something we definitely want. And so there's our Flameworks. This is a place where we can hire flamers. Yep, exactly. Guys with flamethrowers. So we'll get 2 of them, and you can see they've been added over here in their little like Warhammer 40k suits. They're gonna start chucking fireballs at the mountain, and the fireballs do more damage than a pick does, and they tick for 1 damage for the little fire pool that's over there the entire time that they're active. Now, the mountain just came down. That means that we get to pick an artifact. We can get a sapphire key. We can get the deep gnome bling, which gives our runners 35% luck, but lowers their speed. There are a bunch of different upgrades you can get for your runners. Oh, there's a major rockfall coming, or a minor rockfall coming in right now, too, that we're going to have to deal with. Anyways, you can see the stones falling from the sky, and deleted my dwarves. Fantastic. Efficiency kind of going out a window right now. But anyways, every single unit in this game has luck. It does different things for different units. So for somebody that's like a damage dealer, it gives them a chance to crit, or maybe it gives them a chance to generate more gems whenever their projectile hits the mountain. But in the case of our runners, it would make it so that there's a couple of different stats you can upgrade that make it so they prospect the ore while it's on the ground, and there's a chance that they will prospect that ore into something much more valuable, but they are quite a bit slower if we give them that little upgrade or relic or whatever it might be right there. The final thing we have is we have the magical gem polish. It makes all gems worth 10% more. Well, I'm not really sure what I want right here, so I'll probably just go with the sapphire key to figure out what it does. I've never taken that item before because they leave it up in the air in cryptic, and so sapphire gem it is. And one thing that's really fun about this game is that whenever you get a relic, it pops out of the mountain, and it's a giant thing that one of your dwarves has to carry. Sometimes you just get relics for free out of the side of the mountain, independent of it being knocked over and destroyed. But for right now, we're not quite there yet. Well, we got our first mithril lump, which is a really, really good thing. I'm just kind of chilling right now. This is one of those games that when you record it, there's going to be a lot of downtime in between each edit, because I honestly think that one of the main flaws with this game is just that the early game is very, very slow until you get the things you need to accelerate. And then from there, the pacing feels, that poor little bastard just got wiped out over there. But from there, the pacing does get quite a lot better. We're almost done with our mountain, and we've almost got a second calamity coming on in too. With that 1 mithril right there, I can make a laser cannon. That should actually pretty considerably bring up our DPS from here on out, and if we keep stacking the laser cannons, we may hit the mountain where it hurts and actually start taking out some of these dens, because there are treasures and relics and stuff like that inside those dens that you definitely want to get before the mountain falls over. But unfortunately, it looks like we've got A calamitous, a rain of stones, and a rock slide. Fantastic. So it's going to get a little bit chaotic around here before it gets a little bit better. On the plus side, we did get a sapphire, which is worth considerably more than gold. It looks like most of, well, I was about to say it looks like most of our runners dodged the rocks that were falling down. But hopefully we've got really good workman's comp, and we can get these guys into a hospital bed shortly without costing the company, the society, or the dwarf himself that much money. I like to imagine to myself that dwarves just have free healthcare. Like, and they seem communal. They seem like they would build a society around the idea that, like, society takes care of us all. But I don't know, man. Really, we don't have any other options for what we want to clack out right now, except we're going to need underground housing for sure. So let's just stock up on extra dwarves down here. We can also get a great forge. That'll give us runesmiths. I think we want more damage for right now, though. Like, we need to get more treasure falling out of the mountain, so the demo shack does feel like a pretty good idea. These guys are a little bit too expensive. What's another laser cannon gonna cost me? So I need another mithril for that. We could also throw some upgrades into the laser cannon to make it more effective. But for now, I actually kind of want my runners to move faster, so we'll upgrade them to like 20% movement speed extra, and we'll boost up their carrying capacity to 3. That way they can all bring back 3 ores at a time, so that we're being a little bit more efficient with our precious metals acquisition for right now. And frankly, while we're on that subject of efficiency, I think we're just going to flatly need more runners anyways in order to keep up with this little pile over here. It's gorgeous, isn't it? I enjoy any game that allows me to make a Scrooge McDuck pool of treasure. I think that that's one of those things that so many games fail to include. Like, really, every single game should allow you to have a Scrooge McDuck pool. I think you could fit it into every type of game, every genre. You know, like FIFA, add a giant Scrooge McDuck money pool to it. I bet you that people absolutely adore it. Horror games, add it to that too. It'll be relaxing after the terror that you've been undergoing trying to avoid monsters and things like that. You can just look at your money pool. I feel like it has a calming effect on everybody. Another day and another mountain ruthlessly annihilated. Unfortunately, we do have our calamity coming in right now, but it's an easy one to deal with. It's just a minor rockfall, so hopefully it doesn't catch anybody slipping. I told them to put on their helmets and follow OSHA guidelines before they went out there. But dwarves don't ever listen to me, man. They're stubborn. They are always stubborn about stuff like that. So here we go. We've got a pot of gold. Gold will rain from the sky. That does sound pretty awesome. We've got the golden crane. It's going to give our runners a 10% chance to dodge rocks and projectiles being thrown at them by various goblins and things of that nature. Did we get a mithril vein over here? Oh, we did, dude. We got a mithril vein. If we can knock that thing over, there's so many upgrades that I want that'll make that better. Or we can get a giant marble elven foot, which is apparently the kinkiest of kinks for a dwarf. Runners get 12% faster speed, but they've got to rest 20% longer. You know why. One thing that this game does exceptionally well is that all of the writings and all of like the lore blurbs off of everything you're picking up, they are done very, very humorously. Like, there's been a few that got a snort out of me when I went through this. Absolutely not a game that's taking itself catastrophically seriously. I'll probably just go with the pot of gold. Yeah, make gold rain from the sky. I mean, look at him. He looks so happy. He's a happy little golden eggy right there. Bring him on back and let's see what kind of an omelet we can make out of it. And into the maw it goes. The pot of gold. Hey, gold is indeed raining from the sky, and the fun thing about that is that if it hits the maw, it gets automatically collected. Like, anything that goes into the maw just gets put into it instantaneously, and these are pure golds right here, which means they should be worth quite a bit more cash than the other stuff that we've been picking up, and that means it's probably time for us to look into some upgrades. I don't know exactly what I want to buy just yet. I do think more flamers would be nice. I think that's a solid call. Maybe some upgrades for the flamers might be good as well. We don't have the mithril to get another laser cannon, so that's flatly out. Let me get one more underground housing because I was sitting on the edge of my bonus from prestiging where like every 4 times I buy a house I get a free house, so we might as well bang that out now. We will also get the demolition shack and we will put it right there to raise these guys up a little bit higher so that they have a better chance of hitting the stuff that they're supposed to be hitting. And then inside of here with our newly found dwarves, let's get some demo dwarves. That sounds really, really good. And we want our demo dwarves to be able to throw further because there's a critical fail that can happen with these guys that are chucking dynamite. Sometimes their bomb bounces off the mountain and comes back and hits your own guys. It's very, very humorous when it happens, but it's also highly inefficient. So, like, let's give them a little bit more velocity to guarantee that they make their throw. Look at you! You hit the mithril vein, you maniac. There's also a dark castle up there. Unfortunately, it's going to be throwing undead parts at us, but I'm really hoping we get that mithril vein right there. How many of these guys do I want? I honestly don't know, but let's give them lightweight casing 1, which lets them throw further, and we'll give them efficient delivery, which lowers their cooldown by 10%. Then from there, I think I can probably afford another runner. It does look like the gold is kind of piling up right now, so efficiently bringing in the cash is going to be a big part of this game too. Ugh, we just got a bunch of spawns down here when it comes to other layers. If we can manage to take them down, though, they're worth a ton of money, and they give you free relics and stuff every now and again. So I'm hoping, I mean, the thing that I want destroyed the most is the mithril vein. They keep tinking it every now and again, but, like, if the mountain comes down before we get the vein, that's going to be not so great. Oh, the dynamite hit that over there. I do like the fact that everything in this game is physics enabled. It flies all over the place whenever there's an explosion. It makes the game very satisfying. Hey, we got our mithril. Nice, dude. That's going to be huge because I can buy, like, a second laser cannon or something, because I think the laser is hands down kind of chunking for, well, I guess we've got a DPS meter right here, don't we? We'll have to watch it. It's got such a long cooldown that it's hard to say whether or not it's my top DPS. Yeah, it looks like when it's active, it definitely puts out that damage, and we're up over 1,000 DPS right now, too, which is really, really great, but the mountain's about to come down. Do I have enough for another laser cannon? I need, like, one more gold. Can you guys drop that off? There we go. Feed it to the maw. And now we will have secondary laser cannon, and this game does just stack weapons on top of each other, which is relentlessly entertaining. This one, it didn't give us a relic, but we did get a mountain soul. The mountain soul is for, like, really, really huge upgrades. Oh, apparently a geyser came up out of the ground and absolutely swashed all my dwarves. We're not going to make that much money for, like, the next 15 seconds, but the plus side here is they've all had a bath for the first time possibly ever, so, you know, you got to look at silver linings every now and again. Another mountain down. We didn't manage to get the secondary mithril vein right there, which sucks a little bit. Like, I would have liked to have brought in a little bit more mithril to get things popping, but we're in okay shape for the moment. We should be getting ourselves another relic pretty soon. How often do I get relics? Oh, that's not good. Boulder trap. Yeah. Well, that guy dodged it. That guy dodged it. Oh, okay. It didn't get better. I thought maybe the big boulder was going to be the only one we had to worry about, but I was unabashedly wrong on that front. With the cash that we have on hand, what do we want to upgrade? Like, what would be good? I sort of feel like the art of faster chucking would be good for the pickaxes. That way they fire 10% faster. Over here, though, I think there are ways that we could make this thing function a bit better. And so with the laser cannons, we have enough to get cookie cutter. That's going to make us deal more damage per tick. We have a chance to get gems, which is always nice. It does make calamities happen faster, but frankly, there's nothing you can really do about the calamities anyways. We could also go with a whole bunch more bomb chuckers. Like, we could do that right this second, too. We also have access to a thing called a wind bomb. The wind bomb is an active thing that you can do to fire that right there. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to knock the ore closer to your base and into the mouth of the maw. This is going to be one of the first times that the game actually gives you active gameplay, and it cools down pretty quickly. However, you want it to be highly elevated up off the ground so you can sort of fire it where you want it to go. My last run, I put it in the back, and it was on a lower level, and it couldn't reach the actual gold pile itself. That was a little bit of a downer. It was not very efficient because I couldn't use it very often unless the treasure pile was halfway across the map anyways, to actually rearrange things and launch them into the maw the way that I wanted. So let's get 2 more demo dwarves. Oh, we did get another. We got another mithril too. Okay. Well, what buildings can I do? I can do the Great Forge. I would definitely recommend doing the Great Forge because that allows us to get runesmiths. Runesmiths are going to allow us to forge our mithril into other useful things that are just flat buffs to, like, different classes of troops that we have inside of our dwarvish city. So would be helpful. You can see them up here hammering away. A ballistics workshop might actually be pretty dope too. That'll give us ballistas, and ballistas specifically target everything that's like a hive on the wall. I think that would be helpful, so let's think about ballistas real fast. We'll elevate these guys up real quick, and then if I can, let's fire that to try to knock some gold this way. Our airburst, it can take out our own troops though, so keep that in mind. But any gold that lands on our base gets automatically collected. So it can be a good way to make a fast infusion of cash. When it comes to this place though, we've got harpoon ballistas up here, but we don't have enough dwarves to actually build it. So let's get 2 of those right there. We'll build a ballista, and then we need like 300 bucks to get a second one. But now we're starting to get somewhere because we're going to start sniping the hives off the wall with our ballistas. And the hives, they drop all the good loot that you're going to be lusting for as you get further on into the game. Bronze Fang Hill's about to die. Let's see how it goes. Goodbye, Bronze Fang Hill. 'Twas nice knowing thee. Down it goes, and a new artifact. So we can get the Emerald Key, we can get the Pot of Greed, we'll get 4 calamities at the same time, but we get 666 gold, or we can take the Crown Gem, which gives us 1,000 to 2,000 gold. I definitely want the 1,000 to 2,000 gold, because that's going to allow us to go on a spending spree where we can really increase our damage against this filthy mountain that just will not yield. Like, what kind of bastard mountain doesn't yield when a dwarf hits it with his pickaxe? Unacceptable. It's making us look bad in front of the elves. You know they're down there in the valley right now, just like laughing at us and making fun of us. We actually didn't get that much gold from the crown. That's a little bit of a bummer. I was hoping we'd get the full 2,000, but it's randomized, so you never quite know what you're gonna get. Let's get dwarvish housing twice, because that stocks us up on people for a little bit. We can also get the artillery hall, which gives us cannons. That might be kind of nice. But let's use our mithril and a little bit of money to unlock mithril forging. We'll get the first tier of that because that gives us mithril pickaxes and pickerangs. And pickerangs might be kind of cool. What do those do? We get 8% more damage and more critical damage. I'll take it. And then the pickerang is an alien technology from down under. Only a few dwarves understand it. When it hits the mountain, it might bounce back like a boomerang and hit the mountain again. I'll take that. That sounds like something we definitely want, but we need another mithril for it. So it's going to take us a minute to actually... Okay, I didn't realize I didn't have enough mithril. For the moment, let's take magnetic gloves so that they gather faster. Let's take the next tier of Scoutly or Stoutly March, because getting them there is a good idea. And then we'll have our gatherers. Oh, Jesus, we got another geyser. They're flying through the air and they're wounded again. God, dude, I do not feel like the Dwarvish ER gets enough credit for them patching these guys back up. But either way, I need all of my runners to be gathering faster from here on out. We have once again killed another mountain, or at least we're about to. Oh, good, the gems. They flew where I wanted them to fly. Shoot that right there. I don't know if it's going to make it anywhere good. I mean, it kind of made it, and it cleared out some of the stuff that needed to be cleared. We probably made like 400 gold off of that shot. Aw, dude. Dance of boulders again. Good lord. Yeah, I'm sorry, boys. It's just not your day right now. Later on, we get defenses. We get anti-aircraft guns or anti-rockcraft guns that will shoot the projectiles out of the air. You saw them at the beginning of the video. But for right now, we don't really have access to that. This mayor is the mountain getting kind of angrier right now. We've got molten blobs raining down from the sky like artillery strikes. Who knew? You know, you don't think of something like a mountain as being sentient, but in this case, it may actually be. This thing is putting out a whole lot of terror before it lets me take its bounty. But just look at this bounty right here, dude. Look how much there is. And it's all there without any performance loss, too, which is a really nice thing to see. Ooh, we've killed another mountain. That's what I like to see, dude. More dead mountains in my wake. The only thing better than dead mountains is dead elves. Throw those hand grenades over there. It looks like we got another mountain soul from that one. We're not sitting on a whole lot of cash right now. I've been spending it, so I made my made my gatherers a little more dodgy. I made them able to carry 4 ores at a time. Oh, we got a troll lair, huh? I don't see a troll lair. Is that the troll lair right there? Oh, that's not that bad of a catastrophe. That's just like, uh-oh. That bomb almost took out my dudes. I'm gonna fire that over there. Sorry, bro. Oh, never mind, a rock got him. I don't have to take responsibility for that one. The paperwork just got so much more simple. I thought that my air bomb was gonna blow him up, but then a giant boulder hit him in the face, so I can just blame it on that natural calamity. Act of God, bro. Who knew that it was gonna happen? Oof. Jesus. There's dwarves everywhere, man. At least they're like bumbles, they bounce, but in between the meteors striking my entire gathering force and like 5 more hive spawning, I get the feeling our efficiency is about to go down to basically 0. A massive pure gold. I'd be cheering like him too if I found a piece of gold that big. We also just need to respect, this man just military pressed all of that gold. Dwarves kind of built different if you think about it. Just completely and totally. How much was that worth? That was worth 1,000? Let's go, dude. That's super awesome. Okay, so what do I want to upgrade now? I mean, we've got a little bit of mithril, but not really that much. These are all very, very slow, low upgrades, and so I don't know if I want to have those just yet. Frankly, I think I want more ballistas or I want more flamethrower guys, and I don't know which of the two I would prefer. The flamethrower guys are really flagging right now, so we may want to bring them up to speed with the DPS of everything else that's around. So let's go like 3 flamethrowers, so now we have 5 of them. That's good. That'll work. That'll actually stack up a lot of dots on the mountain, too, that are going to be doing consistent damage. And if they end up hitting the layers, they'll give us a bunch of damage on those, too. We'll get Insatiable Fire, I think, too, so that we get 30% more duration on the dot that's going out right there. We will also get Rapid Ignition, I think. And then we'll buy Conflagration twice, so that our fire fields are much larger and thus they tick more actively. Another mountain is down, so that means we've got access to the Warlord's Mantle. Spalders and cloak woven from the banners of vanquished foes bearing the scars of 100 sieges. Destroy all T2 or lower dens, then spawn 3 more. Okay, and then destroying a den counts as though you had 20% more luck. Oh, we've got a rock geyser. You guys better throw all that stuff before you get crushed. Yeah, it's not looking, we have some serious workplace safety violations going on right now. This is why you hire a geologist before you do any type of digging. We can get the Crystal Skull. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. All dwarves have 15 gem luck, and there's an increased chance of having an extraterrestrial encounter. We can also get the Royal Tax Refund, which will give us 2,000 to 4,000 gold. Everybody loves refund season. Yeah, let's get the Royal Tax Refund real quick. Oh, I think it threw it far enough. Oh, I thought it was going to make it to our base and just get auto-collected. All right, well, you grab the... He's excited. I get excited about a tax refund, too. You don't get those anymore when you're self-employed like I am. It's a bit of a bummer, and we got a super low roll on our tax refund, which sucks. Let's launch an airburst over here and see if we can knock some of this stuff back over and into our domain. I would recommend that they add more active stuff like that to the game too. I've had a few ideas about other things that could be actively controlled by the player just to help you pass time when there's not a lot of things happening, but that brings me back up to ballista territory. Let's get 3 more ballistas. Hell yeah. And then we're gonna give the ballistas, oh, we can't give them multi-shot. I don't have any mithril. Okay. Well, we'll give them Flaming Bolt, which gives every single ballista shot a 30% chance to do hella more damage. How much more damage does it do? Hella. The sky has apparently been torn asunder, so it's now raining fire from the sky in between the normal rocks and everything too. I don't think any amount of dodge in the world is actually going to negate that, but our DPS has gotten seriously gnarly since we upgraded our battle force with way, way, way more ballistas and whatnot. I don't know what upgrades we have in here that we could potentially get. So we get minus accuracy but more damage, lubed cranks. Okay, yeah, lube up that dwarf's crank. You got it. And then I'm going to need another blast bomb too. The amount of things falling from the sky is becoming a little bit cumbersome. I think we're going to have to get the anti-aircraft guns pretty soon. We got a Dragon's Claw. The Flamer's Draconic Salvo costs less gold and can fire 1 additional... Wait, Draconic Salvo? The hell is Draconic Salvo? I don't even have that yet. How do I get that? Like, where does that come from? Do I need more scientists? Let's buy another scientist, and we'll see if that unlocks anything that we're interested in. I think we are going to need more scientists. We've got like a lot of researches and stuff that are just flatly not available right now. and I would like them to shrapnel that rocks hate. Do we even have any mithril available? I think I see one right there. But my entire workforce just got absolutely torpedoed by bolides, and so let me see if I can knock some of this stuff a little bit closer. There we go. Oh, more molten blobs. Lovely. Well, the molten blob did kind of like feed the beast for a second. Like, it launched a bunch of the debris and treasure up into the... This guy just flying through the air. The game is relentlessly comedic, dude. It's just a fun game to watch. Like, it's definitely one of those games that it's not the most active game out there, but it's definitely a game where all of the parts that comprise it are done well, including the humor and the physics and everything else, which makes the game just sort of like addictive to stare at for hours at a time. Dude, there is so much treasure laying out here that it's unbelievable. I gotta knock some of this back home. Sorry, bro. Yeah, like, I knew that one was probably gonna catch you in the crossfire, like 90s style, board game style, but, like, that's the way that it go. Oh, my God, the meteor rain, dude. The cataclysms do get worse as you get further on into the game. They get absolutely ridiculously chaotic. On the plus side, we don't really need gatherers because the meteors... just fed us like 1,000 golds worth of stuff, which is pretty sick. I need so like, how do I get the anti-projectile turrets? That's what I need. Well, first and foremost, we just need more housing. I don't know when I'm going to get my bonus. There we go. We're back up to 10 dwarves. It took pretty much everything we had to get there, but like, that's the way it goes sometimes. I'm going to knock some of this stuff back over this way too. Oh boy. Giant boulders really making this a headache right now. Fuff. Cataclysm's really getting out of control at the moment. Yeah, you guys keep sniping troll caves, I guess. I've never heard of a troll being that high up the mountain, but maybe he's just like the rest of us. He likes the scenic view. You know, you always hope you get a hotel room that's on a high floor. That way you can see the city a little bit better. He probably thought the exact same thing. And frankly, his property values are more than likely never going to go down with a property like that. Then again, the bearded psychos firing all kinds of weaponized military ordnance at you may cause a problem there too, but it remains to be seen. Another day and another dead mountain. We've killed 12 chunks of the mountain right now. We can get the Belt of Giant Strength so our runners can carry 2 more things. We can get the Mithril Heart. It gives us free Mithril, and whenever we get a Mithril, we have a chance to get an extra Mithril. We can get the Giant Mithril Nugget. I'll probably go with the Belt of Giant Strength because it saves me on having to buy more gatherers. I think that's just the way that I feel about it. They were carrying like 4, now they're carrying 6. We're kind of getting it up to like 60 or 70 gold per drop-off, and the number's starting to go up a little bit faster, which is frankly what I was hoping for. For now, though, I think we're going to need more scientists. So let's get 2 more scientists real quick, and then I'll check the other buildings. Anti-rock turrets. That's what we need. That's going to be for the safety of our colony. The other active thing they could do in order to let the player interact with the game, I highly recommend that if the player holds down left click, all of the turrets will fire with perfect accuracy towards their cursor. That way, and also give the player a luck bonus for doing it so that you get more treasure out when you're manually shooting stuff out of the air. Anything that helps the player pass the time in an idle game like this, where you are frequently waiting for things to just be delivered back home, is a really, really good idea, especially given the slow pacing of this game as you move forward. Like, it's not a game where a lot of stuff happens. You kind of leave it running in the background. Definitely bring back the Belt of Strength. We need that. That's a huge upgrade right now. There we go. Belt of Strength is on in there. If you're wondering how many relics there are, inside this demo, there's this many. But the nice thing about this game is that just like with Cookie Clicker, you can add branching narrative paths and stuff like that. You can add all kinds of things to expand this game on out, and if you could get it packaged at like a $4 price point, I see this one flying off the shelves, especially if it idly plays while you don't have the game open. Like, it checks the clock and then it looks at your DPM and then just gives you all the stuff for while you were logged off. This could definitely be a super, super addictive just idle game, dude. Oh, we got a free relic right there. The ruby key just came out of one of the little citadels that we destroyed. That's nice. Oh, that dude. Oh, he barely dodged it, dude. He slipped in and weaved it. My man. We're killing mountains at like an unbelievable pace right now. We're killing a mountain like every 2 minutes at the moment. The amount of money that we're stacking up to the ceiling is pretty impressive. I think we're gonna need a lot more like anti-air defense. Like, oh, Jesus. Okay, a star just fell. Sometimes, like, cataclysms, every now and again, you get something like good. Like, I had one where it rained gems for a while. There was like a relic that I found that was pretty funny, where the entire point of the relic is it made it so that every single time your dwarf, like your little runners, they pick up a gemstone, they have a chance to go gem crazy, and then they fly up into the air and die off screen using their ass as a jetpack that just expels gems everywhere. There's all kinds of like humorous little things in this game that you'll come across while you're playing on through that just increase the amount of visual variety and just the spectacle of watching the game play itself. So with where we are right now, there's a couple of glaring areas that we can improve on. So like the guys that chuck picks, unfortunately their DPS is very low right now compared to everybody else. The laser cannons are also falling behind as well. But there's so many projectiles and things flying through the air that I really feel like the best thing we can get is the anti-rock turret. Like I think getting more of those is going to be a strong play. I would also say let's raise their accuracy by a level, get their cooling down so that they fire a little bit faster. Yeah, that looks good to me because I need my little guys to be protected, dude. It's Rain of Gems right now. Yay! I don't know why, but this makes me feel incredibly happy. Like, deeply and truly, on a very real adult level. I would like to see rain that's made out of gems. I don't want to be outside during it because I feel like they do a lot of damage. I would hope that somebody would warn me beforehand so that we could put our cars inside the garage. But gems raining from the sky does sound like a very, very entertaining way to spend your time. Oh, that's a pretty big rock storm, dude. I don't think all the anti-aircraft guns in the world are going to help out with that one. Oh, there's a lot. Yeah, they're just getting juggled at this point. Okay, can I afford to shoot a wind bomb? Sometimes the hotkey stops working for the wind bomb, and I don't quite know why. There we go. Just shuffle things closer to the base. Yep, the more of them you can knock over, the better. Perfect. Ooh, that was a good one right there. Yeah, get the pile a little bit close. Now we have 2 treasure piles. What's better than 1 treasure pile? 2 treasure piles. What is that thing? An ancient vault? It's shimmering with eldritch energy. Is it firing bombs? Is that what those are? None of them have hit the ground yet, though. They move so slowly that none of them have hit the ground to see what they actually do. I didn't play this far in my last Prestige, so we are in uncharted territory right now. I'm really hoping they kill the ancient vault before the mountain goes down, but I can't guarantee it right now. Like, they might get it in this next burst if their accuracy is good enough, but the mountain's health is getting awfully low. Oh, they missed all their shots, dude. 4 out of 4 went wide. It's so close to dead, bro. Just kill it. I want to know what's inside of it. This is depressing. Man, we killed the mountain without getting into the vault. So we can have the chromatic anvil. All runes cost less money. We can get the deep note bling. Or we can get the heirloom treasure map, which gives us prestige points. I want that so that when I come back next time, I'm even stronger. We have an earthquake rolling right now. Everything is in disarray and has been completely and totally annihilated. I'm only sitting on top of 2,000 gold at the moment, but I do think there's an opportunity here to get a few more runners just to make this thing go a little bit faster. And then I need to start upgrading my lasers. They're weak. So we'll go with the broadaxe beam. That's going to make the beam a little bit thicker. We'll also go with cooling masters. That way they're getting a little bit of cooldown reduction right there. They fire 20% faster, which I think will help us cleave through mountains a little bit quicker. Energy sustainer will make it so that the laser stays up for an extra 2 seconds. So that'll be good. And then I could just get more laser cannons, I guess, and stack them up. But even just those upgrades right there brought it up to 3rd place in terms of the amount of damage that it's dealing. So that's good. That's exactly where I wanted it to be at before we trundle any further on into the game. I do think we need to start getting some of these dope upgrades, though, like the Picker-Rang. Like, I think that would be a really good idea because we haven't been spending our souls, and I'm guessing that the souls are going to give us some massive throughput. So let's get Picker-Rang 1. Oh, we can get the Mega Pick and the Blessing of the Golden God. However, I can't select it yet. It says NA. I don't know if that means it's not in this build as of right now, or if I just don't have enough scientists or whatever to unlock the next tier of it. If I get 500 gold together, I could build the artillery hall and start getting some cannons busting out at the enemy. But we're running out of dwarves right now, so that might be one of those things that has to wait a little while longer. Oh, we got a free relic. The magical back brace. Maybe it'll help with our efficiency and carrying. He's bringing it home right now. So I suppose we'll figure out exactly what it does here in a second. they're busy killing off all the hives over here, which is going really well. So a mystical runners get +1 carrying capacity. That is also super helpful. I haven't even gotten my treasure map yet. Like, there's so many things laying over here that we just haven't had a chance to pick up yet. Treasure map is in, so there's 1,000 gold and 2 prestige points. The prestige tree is pretty deep for right now, but like in a finalized version, I hope it gets even deeper. That would make me super happy if it got even deeper. So who's struggling right now? Our pick throwers and our flamethrower guys are struggling right now. With our flamethrower guys, we can give them Inferno. Might as well spend some souls. We're sitting on a bunch of them right now. We could also upgrade their Insatiable Fire, but we've got Searing Wounds. Fire can now critically hit. That sounds like a decent upgrade. Let's do that. The Great Pyre. Yeah, it makes their little flame pool stack and deal extra damage, so that sounds pretty good to me too. I think that'll be a nice little efficiency upgrade. But my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today we were checking out a simple little title that I like very much called Dwarf Eats Mountain. My closing thoughts are I like everything about it. This is a game that definitely has its visual presentation, its progression, and like its treasure gathering, its sound effects, everything here is lockstep in equilibrium. And so all it really needs is like a ton of content, because that's really what feeds an idle game, is how far can this go? You know, if you compare Cookie Clicker, where it was when I started playing it like a decade and a half ago versus where it is right now, it could not be more different. There's just so much stuff to do inside of it that you'll probably never even see all of that content. And this game, it has all the hallmarks of something that's going to be very addictive and very awesome. I like it very much. Developer, congratulations on making something so interesting and addictive, even though it's incredibly simple and has very, very little player interaction. It is still really fun just to watch the spectacle and see what comes next. A golden geyser. Okay. I mean, that's better than the calamities that we normally get, so I'll absolutely take it. Little runners, get to work. You got a job to do out here. I will see you all later. Thanks for hanging out with me. I forgot. I was just in awe of the geysers that I completely and totally forgot that I already did my intro. But I'll see y'all later. Sorry if my voice sounded a little bad today. I'm still fighting that flu, trying to get it out of my system. It comes and goes. I will catch you all later with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet. And take care, everybody.